before we get into it, I think is kind of we've hyped up the Oscars ever since we started the podcast, and they are the most important award show that there is. We talk the Grammys recently happened. We talk about why the Grammys don't matter because the people that are supposed to be happy about winning Grammys often don't give a shit, like Drake and Justin Bieber and Frank Ocean, for example. But the Oscars is a celebration of movies by the people that make movies, the actors, the writers, the producers, the directors. And because they give such a shit about it, that's why I like giving a shit about it, because I like movies, obviously, so do you. And I like what they think about, other movies. I've never quite understood why, like, people, oh, well, the Oscars this, the Oscars that. I'm like, it's the artists. I thought we like artists, Yeah. So I never quite understood the hate towards it. I mean, it's still pageantry, of course. It's still patting people on the back. But I think at the end of the day, celebrating good films, and the Oscars help raise the profile and get more people to watch said films, which helps everyone involved. I don't really see much of a negative there. And even if the ratings do decline this year, the Oscars will still be the most watched non-sporting event of the year, just to keep it in perspective.
That's crazy.
Even if it's down slightly, it's still 30 million people. It's fucking a lot.
Right.
So people give a shit.
Yeah.
But anyway,
go ahead. Before you go on, I think like the one thing I hear a lot about the Oscars is these movies often aren't the movies that most people go to see. That these are like the artsy films, and that's a valid critique, I think. But it's also kind of like, are we going to give like the best pop albums like Katy Perry or like One Direction, awards? Are we going to actually take what's like the best artistic stuff? And that's what the Oscars is focusing it on.
Exactly. I mean, you're advocating for participation medals, because things make money. And to that point, I think there's a big shift in the Oscars around 2009. That's when the Best Picture field was extended to 10 movies, and then it was recently brought back from 5 to 10, somewhere in between. This year we have 9. And that was done after The Dark Knight was not nominated for Best Picture.
Yep.
And also WALL-E that year as well. And, the immediately following 08 and so 09, you saw Avatar nominated for Best Picture. You saw District 9 in there. It was quite the diverse group. Since then, we've kind of pulled back, actually. With the expanded field, the overall grosses of the movies have actually gone down, which and the ratings have gone down as well. Whether you want to draw that causation together or not, I think it's a bit of a false equivalency, but the evidence is there. Anyway, like you said, it's not the most popular movies, but I think it's the movies that should be celebrated, I mean, would it have been cool for Wonder Woman to get a Best Picture and Logan? Absolutely. Even Last Jedi, right? But they didn't. I don't think I don't think it's a slight against those great movies that everyone saw,
No. Well, and it's kind of like, when you listen to music, you have pop artists that you just enjoy listening to, but you realize I like this because it has like a formula to it. And it's kind of like superhero movies or Star Wars movies. But then the albums that you really go back and you appreciate are the ones that make you think, the ones that make you feel things, the ones that really intrigue you, that I think we should be celebrating and saying, this is doing something different, this is taking chances, this is what the art form is supposed to be. Whereas the other ones are just enjoyable. And there's nothing wrong with that. Movies and art in general has different lanes. And this is kind of focusing more on the quality over, I don't know, just enjoyability.